So here are some of the questions I have for you. What do you want? Now, that sounds like a simple question. You say, I've been listening to you say all of this just for you to ask me what I want. In part, yes. But try to answer that question for a minute. And I'm going to ask you to do something for me. And I don't want you to just do it on a computer. I want you to get an old-fashioned pen, an old-fashioned pad, and I want you to write down what you want. There's an exercise we can go through here that actually leads you to overcoming some of the existential anxiety and some of the resulting depression that you might have. Ask yourself, what do I want? And you need to start out by being specific. Because you just say, well, I want to be happy. No, that's not good enough. My dog wants to be happy. You got to be more specific than that. What do you want? I have to give you maybe an example here. Look at the top 5 hopes in McCrindle's survey. 72% of the young people said they wanted to own their own home. 67% said they wanted financial freedom and independence. Is that what you want? A like number said they wanted to excel in their career. Is that what you want? Do you want a closer relationship with your children? Do you want to get married? Do you want a closer walk with God? Whatever you want, identify that. And then the next question is, what are you willing to do to get it? What do you want? Now, what are you willing to do to get it? And that question, too, may sound overly simple until you really break it down. There's something that I've done a lot in corporate cultures where I've worked with leadership called goals acquisition training. A big part of goals acquisition training is to identify a measurable outcome. What's their goal? And it has to be something measurable. And then you have to identify steps that you're willing to take to get it. So what is it you want? Now, what are you willing to do? We don't have to leap tall buildings in a single bound. What are you willing to do to get what you want? Are you willing to work 2 hours a day towards that? And what does that work look like? Is it reading, studying, spending more time on the job, spending more time in prayer? Is it spending more time with the people that matter in your life? What are you willing to do? Because if you know what you want and you identify what it takes behaviorally, measurably, to get that, then you're beginning to develop a plan. This gets into what you're willing to require of yourself and what you're willing to accept from yourself. You have to decide, are you willing to accept where you are, or are you willing to require more of yourself? Maybe the world doesn't take you as seriously as you wish they did. Maybe your coworkers don't take you as seriously as you wish they did. Maybe you settle too cheap for yourself. I don't know. I'm asking you. You need to decide. Maybe you need to decide, I won't be made small by what other people think of me. I won't be contained in a small picture frame because that's how other people see me. That's how other people view me. I won't let people put me in a 5x7 frame if I won't fit. I'm going to be an 8.5x11 frame. I'm going to be in a 9x16 frame. I'm going to be on a whole wall mural if that's what it takes for me to be everything I know I can be. Are you willing to be confined by how other people see you? Are you willing to be confined by how you see yourself? Or are you willing to say, nope, nope, I'm going to behave my way out of this confining self perception or other perception? So it starts with what do you want? And then what are you willing to do to get it? And then here comes a really important third piece of this. How will you feel when you have it? What do you want? What are you willing to do to get it? And how will you feel when you have it? Maybe you want to make more money. And maybe what you're willing to do to get it is to spend more time perfecting your skill set and putting in more effort at your job. How will you feel when you have it? Maybe you'll feel more accomplished and confident at what you do. Then I would say what you really want is to feel more competent and confident at what you do. This gets circular. Then I would say, okay, if what you really want is to feel more competent and confident at what you do, what are you willing to do to have that? Now you have to answer that question. And you say, well, okay, I'm willing to start going to school at night to pick up a skill set that I don't currently have. My question then would be, all right, how are you going to feel when you do that? Well, I'm going to feel equal to all of the people that I now feel inferior to. All right, my observation would be what you really want is to feel equal to the people that you're working with. What are you willing to do that? And I would just keep going around and around and around until you finally feel like, okay, maybe what I want is to be proud of myself. Maybe that's it for you. Maybe it's to break out of your shell. You will get to a point where you get to a real answer for what you want. And trust me, you'll know when you get to the end, when you get to the bottom and say, okay, that embodies what I really want. Now, once you're there, you finally come to grips with what you want. Now, you can do that concerning your job. You can do it concerning your relationship. You can do it concerning your life in general. But when you begin to get a grip on that, you're going to now get a firm handle on what you start expecting from others. You might start looking at the people you work for, the people you admit into your life, the people you vote for on election day, the people you choose to spend time with in a whole different light, because you now know what you want, you know what's important to you, and you know whether or not you're willing to spend your time with someone, doing something, experiencing some experience based on whether or not it gets you closer to the things that are important to you in your life. And I don't think we spend enough time doing that. And this generation now that is so paralyzed with fear needs to do exactly what I'm talking about. Instead of sitting on the sidelines afraid to get in the game, they need to do exactly what I'm talking to you about. Instead of saying, I'm afraid what may or may not happen, I need to focus on what I truly want in my life. And then I need to start doing something about it.